Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know, my name is Clara Aguilar. I am the marketing manager for Orders in Seconds and your moderator for this webinar today. I'm going to be introducing the speakers, telling you everything we have in store for the webinar on the topic food and beverage CPG trends for 2025, what's hot and what's next. Now, before we dive in, let me know how you're doing. And I have a quick question for everyone in this webinar right now. Go to the Zoom chat and type it in. What is your favorite go-to snack or drink when you're shopping at the grocery store or when you're at home, like chilling, watching Netflix or your Disney Plus or your Prime? Guys, tell me in the chat, based on the topic today, what is your favorite drink and what is your favorite snack? I'm curious to see. Oh, Reese's! Somebody put Reese's. I love Reese's Pieces. I'm curious to see if the favorites, right, in the chat match up with the trends that we're going to be exploring today. All right, kombucha. Yes, kombucha. Everybody loves kombucha. Sodas like Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Yes, we do. Somebody said Poppy. I'm a big Ollie right now. Ollie with the probiotic soda. I'm big on the Poppy right now. Oh, let me see. Let's type that in too. Let's see. I see Doritos, peanut, peanut and orange juice. Okay, I see you. Diet Dr. Pepper, chips and salsa. I like the chips and the guacamole. Thank you, guys. Yeah, no, this
Yes,
is great.
yes.
This is great. This is great. Siete chips. Oh, Siete chips. Those are so good. That brand, Siete. Butterfingers. I'm getting hungry now. Chocolate covered pretzels. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys. Well, thank you so much for participating, guys. And today we've partnered with Foodbevy to bring you guys the expert insight on the biggest CPG trends for 2025. And this webinar, guys, is going to help you stay ahead of the consumer demands in food and beverage this year. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's meet our speakers for today. All right, from the Orders in Seconds team, we have Mr. Frank Monterrosa. He's the Business Development Manager for Orders in Seconds. Frank graduated with honors and earned his bachelor's in marketing and advertising. He's participated in many leadership and entrepreneurship courses with more than 15 years experience in customer service, marketing, and sales. Currently, he manages the US and Latin America markets for Orders in Seconds. Thank you, Frank, for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Guys, thumbs up in the chat. Let's welcome our speakers. And on from foodbevy.com, we have Jordan Buckner, who's on a mission to help food and beverage companies build successful businesses and launched foodandbevy.com to create a pipeline for companies to grow from startup to scale through inspiration, education, and partnerships. Jordan also runs the Joyful Company, a curated gifting service designing the perfect gift for every occasion. We are so excited, Jordan, to have you, and thank you for being here today as well.
Thank you. I'm really excited for today.
Nice, nice. And guys, let's show them some love. I want thumbs up. I want emojis. Guys, light up that chat right now for me. But let's get started and what we're going to cover today. All right, first we're going to go into the orders in seconds and Foodbevy partnership and what that means for new and existing clients, right? Then we're going to go into the wholesale distributor challenges and the risk of falling behind on trends. Then we're going to dive into the meat and potatoes, the food and beverage CPG trends for 2025. Then for the newbies in the webinar, we're going to be discussing a little bit more about orders in seconds and how we can benefit your distribution business. We're going to get into we're going to have a live Q&A with the speakers too, so you guys can get to ask your questions. And make sure, guys, if you have a question during the presentation, you don't have to wait till the end. There's a Q&A button at the bottom of the Zoom screen. Just click that, submit your question, and then when we get to the Q&A, I'll just read it off in the order that it's been received, okay? So make sure you add your questions there. And my favorite part too of the webinar is Food and Bevy has a special gift for everyone who attended today. And guys, you guys are gonna want this freebie, so make sure you stay till the end of the webinar, okay? All right, let's get started. So Frank, tell us a little bit more about the partnership between Orders in Seconds and Foodbevy, and what does that mean for our existing clients, for new clients? What does that mean? Go ahead.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you, Clara, for that introduction. So
Yeah.
as you guys know, Orders in Seconds, we are always looking for partners who can bring extra value to our customers. That's what we always, thinking of you guys. So that's why we have teamed up with Foodbevy, a company that knows everything about distribution and stays on top of the latest trends in products and services. So this partnership helps us give a customer, give our customers an edge, keeping them informed and ahead of the game. So let me tell you a quick story of what happened recently. One of our existing customers recently asked, hey, do you know any supplier that can sell healthy drinks, right? Because they wanted to start distributing something different, something new. What I did is this: I contacted Jordan at Foodbevy, and they provided all the details customers needed. So this is why Foodbevy does really good. I'll explain later on, exactly what they specialize on. So this collaboration, guys, where we can better meet our customers' needs and help them stay competitive in a fast changing market. Together with Foodbevy, we're focused on delivering real value and staying innovative. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna let Jordan tell us a bit more about Foodbevy, the company he represents. Jordan.
Thanks, Frank. So I am the founder of Foodbevy, and the best way to think of us is a media platform for learning about emerging food and beverage founders and helping those and people in the industry grow their companies from startup to scale. So that looks like is every week we're posting news, we're posting educational articles, podcasts, webinars, all really great information with an audience of emerging kind of more natural channel food and beverage founders and products that are looking to grow their business. These are the most innovative, on-trend products, and they're coming to us as they're looking at their start and grow. And I got into this because I actually ran my own CPG brand, which is an energy bar company for 6 years, saw a lot of the challenges firsthand of building the company and overcoming those obstacles along the way. And so my whole goal is to make it easier for companies to build, grow, and to scale. And so we cover topics everywhere from starting the business to working with manufacturers, distributors, retailers, investors, the entire supply chain. And the goal is I want anyone with a natural channel kind of products business to be successful and to be able to grow. And what's really exciting is a lot of these better for you products are making their way into food service. They're making their way into C-stores. They're going into more traditional grocery stores as consumers are looking for those better for you options. And I'm excited to talk through some of those trends and new product ideas later today.
Great, great,
Perfect.
great. Thank
Perfect,
you.
perfect. So let me talk about a little bit about this because this is something of distributors are facing all the time. So today, look, today more than ever, distributors face critical challenges that, if not addressed in time, can affect their competitiveness and profitability. One of the biggest risks of this cause is falling behind, which manifests, I would say, in three things. So the number one that I consider is risk of falling behind competitors. Hey, that's a big one right there. So we're living in such dynamic market. It's changing all the time. Competitors don't wait. And if you don't quickly adapt to new trends, technologies, and customers' demands, you risk losing relevance. Look, that's important. Let me give you an example of what I'm trying to say with this. I don't know if you guys remember the rise of functional beverages, drinks that offers health benefits such as energy boost, immune support, or improved digestion. Customers are increasingly looking for this type of product that align with their wellness goal. If the small and mid-sized distributors don't stock this type of item, they risk losing customers and competitors who do. So that's why it's important to be, aware of what's going on out there. So second thing is missed revenue opportunities, right? So falling behind doesn't just mean losing customers. It also means missing out on revenue opportunities. So if you're aware of the latest trend or don't offer innovative products, your customers will look, guess what? Elsewhere. So emerging brands which focus on creativity, special market, and the latest trends are in a great position to meet the demand. So let me give you an example, another example. I don't know if you guys remember that when Clara asked about the favorite drink, right, or favorite snack. I don't know if you guys remember this drink called kombucha. Kombucha is a popular drink today, right? But 10 years ago, it was a niche product that you could only find in health food stores or specialty shops, right? So back then, only a few people knew about it, but those who did were really passionate about it. So some distributors saw the opportunity, the potential early on. They thought, hey, this could be big, and decided to add it into their inventory, right? As kombucha started gaining popularity, these distributors grew along with it. But guess what? On the other hand, distributors who waited too long missed out the initial boom. By the time they realized how popular kombucha had become, they were already behind. So that's why, guys, we gotta keep aware of what's going on in the market. And I would say the three elements or the three things is inventory management challenges, right? One of the biggest challenges or headaches distributor has are managing inventory efficiently. They struggle all the time. So falling behind in this area can lead in two problematic scenarios. One is excessive stock, products that don't sell and take up so much space in the warehouse. And secondly, the shortage, not having what customers actually need. So both scenarios result in financial losses and damaged customer relationship. So what is the challenge right here? The challenge lies in finding the right mix. If you focus too much on staples and ignore trends, you risk becoming outdated and losing customers who want something new, something exciting. But if you go all in one trend without maintaining a solid base of a staple, you could end up in overstock in the warehouse, right? So full of products that nobody buys, don't sell. So in general, I would say in summary, innovating and adapting isn't an option anymore. It's a necessity nowadays. So the question is this: are you ready to take the next step and avoid the cost of falling behind? So I'm gonna let Jordan explain the other slide.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, in this case, let me introduce. No, no.
Go ahead,
Okay.
sorry.
So food and beverage CPG trends for 2025 is what we're going to be seeing today. Let's go to the next slide. So this is I'm going to let Jordan take over right here. Jordan.
Thanks, Frank. And I think all those things that you mentioned are ring very true. I'm curious, how many people who are in attendance attended Expo West this year? If you did, you just put a yes in the chat or a thumbs up. I was kind of curious, right? It's always a lot of new products and new innovation going on there, but I think what's also more important is not just the products that are being launched and growing, but what consumers are looking for and the reasons why behind there. And so I want to talk through five topics I see really driving a lot of growth in categories. And right, this is happening across smaller brands, and then larger companies are starting to know this as we mentioned, right? Like Poppy was just purchased by Pepsi for just short of $2 billion. And this is a brand that was, basically unknown, just started less than 5 years ago. And so it really makes a big difference of, identifying these growing trends, being able to support these products along the way, and so that you can benefit as well. So the five trends that we want to talk about today: first, protein in everything. Two, soda with benefits. Three, rise of cultural flavors. Four, the low and no alcoholic segment. And five is hydration. So let's start with protein in everything. Consumers are increasingly seeking higher protein. This came from originally a couple like dietary professionals who are really talking about the benefits of protein in diets. We've seen an increase in focus on protein in various exercise and diet groups. But when you think about the macro ingredients, a lot of these trends are actually very much tied to the macro ingredients that are in foods. You think protein, sugar, carbohydrates, and the gluten movement, things like that go into there, and fats. Those are really what's driving kind of a lot of these trends as they're growing. So what you're seeing is a lot of people are now reaching for higher protein items across different categories. Before it was big in things like meats and kind of made its way into granola bars, and now you're seeing them in pasta. You're seeing them in snacking, in beverage, in frozen even. And so for instance, like this company, Brahmi, they just released a penne pasta, which is made with a lupini bean, and in combination of that and durum wheat pasta made in Italy. So it's a combination of a familiar food. People are already making pasta regularly in a lot of American households,
Mhm.
and now you can buy a pasta that has increased protein and increased fiber. And so that's an easy way to differentiate yourself from a relatively stagnant growing category of understanding these new options and what people are looking for. Second is snacking. So this company, the Only Bean, they make this essentially it's like a dry to freeze dried edamame bean. And so it's crunchy. It has familiar flavors like ranch. And a lot of people are eating them because it's a very simple product. It's essentially the bean plus flavoring. It has high protein. There's 14 grams of protein per serving, which is incredibly high. And it tastes good. And that's a good enough reason for people to grow. If you ask someone, would you eat edamame beans on their own? Most people say like, yeah, maybe if I'm at, I don't know, a sushi restaurant and they serve it at the table,
Yeah.
but no one would ever think about snacking on edamame beans until you throw in the fact that it has really high protein and has simple ingredients and makes for a very compelling food. The second is Chobani. So Chobani is in the dairy space. They're known for their yogurts. They start expanding
Mhm.
to other categories. I should put it before and after. What's interesting is they have this
Mhm.
Chobani Complete beverage. And what's interesting is their first packaging iteration had the 20 grams of protein as like a third level size on their bottle for the hierarchy. And when you look at it now, 20 grams of protein is the number one thing you see, even over their Chobani name, right? So the Chobani is larger in font size, but because the word's so big, it's wrapped around the bottle. But the number one thing that you see clearly is 0 grams of protein. You can
Yeah.
have no idea what this product is, you can see it tastes like Oreo or cookies and cream from the pictures, and you know that you're buying it from the for the protein. Chobani probably does dairy or something, but they're not even selling a
Mhm.
yogurt. They're not selling a certain product category. They're purely kind of selling a drinkable protein.
Wow.
Next up is Nature's Fine, right? So frozen has been fairly stagnant for a while, but there's been an increase in products and new foods that are there. And one trend are better versions of existing kind of staples. But then companies are layering in protein, sugar counts, fat counts to really differentiate. So even if you look at this product by Nature's Fine, it's a meat alternative product called FY Bites, but you really are you might not even be sure exactly what it is. It kind of looks like a meatball, something that you put on top of rice. But
Mhm.
when you're looking at this package, it's the spicy Indian flavor that stands out and 14 grams of protein. And it's 5 grams of fiber. And so really consumers are purchasing products based on these macro trends. All right, we can go to the next. So trend number two is soda with benefits. We've been hitting on this today, obviously because of the news, but companies like Poppi, Olipop, Sunsit, Fresh Fizz are reinventing the soda aisle. In being in this space, if you distribute beverage, you've seen that there's been a decrease in the consumption of a lot of the traditional sodas. Even the packaging, the pack size, the can size have been decreasing because the consumption rate is actually lower. And there's this belief that people are looking to consume less soda, which is true of the legacy brands. But what you start rising is essentially brands who gave you permission to make it okay to drink soda. When you look at that, a lot of the decline was through the negative health associations with drinking soda, high sugar counts, kind of hidden ingredients and not sure what was in there. And a lot of people, for their own reasons, for their family convincing them you have to stop drinking or reducing soda, it became a big deal. Then comes along these soda with benefits. And what it really does is it gives people permission to have indulgence, right? It's saying, hey, you can still have your full can of soda. We're going to have these better for you ingredients. A lot of them have been talking about gut health, low sugar, real ingredients, all different ways to make you feel good about having an indulgent product that you want. And big companies are taking notice. Poppi has been growing tremendously, and with their sale to PepsiCo, they're going to continue to grow. Right? A lot of these kind of talk about gut health. It's not really about gut health and benefits. It's actually about just giving permission to have a soda. And then you can convince, yourself or your partner or your family that, oh, it's good for my gut, right? In doing so. And I think this is going to continue to rise with Poppi and other categories because people are looking for their new favorites. They're going to be experimental. They're looking for that fun replacement.
Absolutely, Jordan. That's like the first thing when I tried Olipop, the first thing I came home and told my husband was, "Oh, this is good for your gut. Look, like we could
And
drink."
no one even knows what that means. They're like, how? You're like,
I know,
I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
how? I don't even know how, but
Right? But it gives you that first talking point to be able to say that. That's great.
it does, it does.
All right, let's move on to trend number three, the rise in cultural flavors. So, and I suspect maybe a lot of people on this call as well, but there's a lot of second, third generations who are now launching modern brands with flavors that they grew up with as kids. And it's spanning every different culture from um, Hispanic cultures, from Asian cultures, Jewish cultures, and these really great products they're taking on. And so, there's talk a couple years ago about foods moving beyond the ethnic aisle into other parts of the store. And what you're really seeing is this proliferation of things that make people that remind them of their parents or their grandparents' recipes, but they're not able to get that anymore, right? And so how do you have those familiar tastes, but in a modern way at home? So Ensemble with their saucy noodles, the chili sesame. Um, Ensemble founders, they have recently sold to another Asian-owned company, but the name Ansam means like rebellious in Vietnamese, essentially, right? Like the kind of rebellious kids because of their personalities, but they still harken back to these foods that they grew up on. Tia Lupita is a Mexican American founder and brand, and it's named after the founder. His name's Hector. His real Tia Lupita, right? And like it's a real person who he associates with learning these foods and recipes from and making her recipes available for others. Newish, which has their take on matzo ball soup, which is a Jewish American brand, and it's taking that traditional matzo ball soup that a lot of people grew up on and making it easy and accessible. So when they're off to college, when they're away from family, and it gives them that reminder of being home, right? Like you eat this when you're having some celebration where you're sick, and it reminds them and takes them back to that comfort, but in a way that's not like the preservative filled kind of random items on the shelf, right? This is fun. It's something that you want to take pictures of and to show. Another brand, Homeo, which works with Southeast Asian flavors and having like a Malaysian red curry. And the other thing is that a lot of consumers now in America, and it's not just this feeling of like, oh, this other cultural food. There's a rise in more modern cultural restaurants that are making these flavors familiar. So it's not just people who are Malaysian eating Malaysian red curry. It's really spanning all cultures who are cross-pollinating. And so really exciting continued growth in these categories as well. And trend number four is the no low alcoholic space. I should mention as well, if anyone has questions about any of these, feel free to type them in the chat or comments or brands that you see that you like. Would love to see those. And then we can also have some time for questions at the end.
Yeah.
So the no low alcohol movement is really interesting. There's a brand that's not listed here, but they're called Little Saints. They just did a survey of 1,000 of their consumers and found that 80% of their customers with their non-alcoholic, beverage could also drink alcohol. And so it's not merely for people who completely stop drinking alcohol. What's really moved in this category are two main trends. One are for alcohol replacements, whether that's some of the time or part of the time, right? Like you might not want 3 glasses of wine, but if you're going to be out, you want something to drink. So maybe you have one full glass of wine and a glass of, sangria from Groovy, which tastes like that alcohol experience without the actual alcohol in it. Or spiritless Kentucky, which makes a spiritless whiskey alternative to make old fashioned. So you can still have those like really great drinks as a full kind of flavor. Of course, it doesn't have that same, bite of alcohol. But it gives you all those flavor notes to still be able to make drinks. There's some direct wine replacements and some direct beer replacements. There's things like hop water, which are using hops that are used in traditional beer making without any of the alcohol component. There's no fermentation to make flavor water. It's really about those subtle flavor notes. And so it's both alcohol replacement directly and it's about creating more adult beverages with flavors that are not juice in your typical soda. And so when you're thinking about that, it's not just saying like, oh, people aren't going to stop drinking, they're going to drink it. Like, yes, it's like yes, and yes, people will continue to consume alcohol. Yes, they will also look for these more interesting beverages. All right, and trend number five is the rise in hydration. It's interesting, right? There's been uh, studies around how people are underhydrated and not drinking enough water throughout the day, and because of that, are not they're dehydrated. And it's both a thing within the kind of fitness and exercise community, the wellness community, and everyone kind of every day. It's interesting. I remember it was like 4 years ago, probably during peak COVID, there's this meme that was going around about, people needing a beverage for energy, a beverage for fun, and a beverage for hydration, right? And having kind of three things. Even me, like I have my Earl Grey tea here for energy, and I have my water glass here. I don't have a fun beverage today, but coupling that energy need also with hydration, especially because a lot of people are drinking coffee, a lot of people are having more caffeine, and those things dehydrate you even more. And so people are looking for these other replacements to add hydration. Essentially, it's salts and some kind of sugars in there to really be able to help you feel better. There's drinks that are made with coconut water. There's a lot of powders. This company, Unwell, is they're kind of their founder is very prolific on social media and kind of making it cool and fun to have this, right? Like water is boring for some people. It's not really branded. People aren't excited to be shown with water brands, except for, Liquid Death, which has made a big rise. But
Yep.
right, they want to make water cool, have it fun, have it with some flavor, but have it be good for you as well. You can also think of these drinks almost like a um, elevated version of Kool-Aid or Crystal Light that a lot of us have had when we were kids, right? We like get used to like mixing powder in with a beverage. We're like,
Yeah.
I can't, bring myself to drink that anymore. It doesn't
No,
taste as
no,
good
no,
as
no.
adults. But it's also you just know it's like bad for you. And so this is another way of really kind of that hint of nostalgia of like fun, adding some fun to drinks. And so as you're looking at the products that you're bringing in, there's a lot of opportunity um, to support and to bring in and distribute brands that are on these cutting edges because they're not just trends for new products that are launching, but also what consumers are looking for. And by providing access to these options, you're going to see a lot of growth in stores. There's a lot of demand for these as well. And so trends often always change, but these are some areas that have very strong underlying currents to them, right? Like hydration of just consuming water essentially is something that people are going to need to do, and they want it to be fun and flavorful. So those are just five things. There's lots of other um, movements that are going on as well, but these are ones that you can bet on.
Yeah, no, Jordan, I'm a mom of two and I'm exercising and everything. When I have my wine, I have to have something else to hydrate because
Right?
mama needs to be at 100 all the time. I need to be there all the time. So I completely get that. And it does that mixing the flavor does bring back like mixing your iced tea, but I couldn't drink
Hmm.
that stuff. Who knows what was in that? It was delicious as a kid.
Right.
No, absolutely,
Oh
absolutely.
my goodness. I won't even start. Like we used to make gallons of Kool-Aid in my house and there'd be like a
Yeah,
the pack and then we make it with the sugar. So we're putting like 2 cups of
yeah, 2 cups
sugar,
of
just like
sugar.
white sugar and mixing the whole
Yeah,
gallon. So it's this whole thing.
I completely agree. I get it. All right. So Jordan, if people want to subscribe and get these trends and get this information straight to their inbox, what do they got to do?
Yep. So the easiest way, there's a QR code here, scan it.
Yes.
What I always say is go to foodbevy.com every day, every week to check on the latest news, information, trends. We have an email list, sign up for our email list. Every Monday, we're sending out the latest news for CPG brands. And a lot of people find that really exciting because we're covering retail launches, new product launches, investments and acquisitions, and just celebrating brands and what they're doing. And so definitely be sure to get on our email list so you can stay informed on what's new in the industry.
Yeah, no, absolutely, guys. And like Jordan said, you guys can scan that QR code. All you have to do is open up your camera app, place it right over the QR code, and then it should link and just tap the link and you can go straight to the subscribe page. And then I also pasted the link on the Zoom chat, guys. So if you want to just click the link on the Zoom chat and subscribe to Food Bevy to make sure that you guys don't miss the industry news, you guys can do that as well. Okay. And we send like after the webinar, we're sending emails too. So like if you're out, if you're driving and you guys are just listening in right now, you guys are gonna get that link too in your email after the webinar, okay? All right, thank you, Jordan. And now, Frank, for the new people in the audience, because I know we have a couple new people that came through our social from Food Bevy, just to let them know a little bit more about orders in seconds. Go
Sure. Well,
ahead.
first of all, thank you, Jordan. So look, orders in seconds, what we do is very simple. We automate all the different sales channel, inventory and delivery that for wholesale distributors. So basically what we do, we offer a comprehensive solution to streamline operation and enhance efficiency. Let me tell you some of the solutions that we have. So with the sales orders management, what we do is this, we have an app called OIS Pro. And this one, what it does is empower sales rep to create different transactions on the go through two different modules, right? Pre-sales, meaning sales rep collecting orders, and DSD, direct store delivery. All the transactions that you generate from the field are seamless, synchronized to different accounting systems like QuickBooks, QuickBooks, Sage, and different ERP systems like SAP, ensuring real-time synchronization and updates. Whatever you have on the accounting system or ERP system, automatically gets synchronized to the sales rep, so you always get connected. So the second solution that we have for warehouse picking is OIS inventory, right? What this one does is this: facilitate the picking process for all the orders that are generated from the different sales channels, right? So in this case, the warehouse picker use a mobile device and scanners to efficiently manage and fulfill the orders, reducing errors and improving operational speed, making it faster whoever is doing the picking side. And that when customers have their own delivery, with the delivery we have the OIS delivery, But this is for companies with their own distribution network, right? The platform, what it does is automate the entire delivery process. Truck driver benefit from streamlined logistics. But they know exactly where they need to go to do the delivery every single day, ensuring timely and accurate delivery to customers. So basically, it's saving you time. And the last one, I would say the e-commerce. This is something when you have different channels, right? You may have sales rep in the field, DSD in the field, but also you would like to empower some of your customers for them not to call you because they might be calling you at the wrong time. So you just give a tool to them so that way they can use any mobile device in being able to create their own orders directly from their stores. And this will change, or will stay along with traditional sales channels. So basically, this could be another channel that you can add in the company and start, growing. So basically, orders in seconds, what it does is provides a unified automated solution that enhances productivity, reduces manual effort, and ensures seamless flow of information across all sales distribution processes. So basically, we are expert on all this wholesale distributors. We got it all. Anything that you might need from the field, from the store, from the warehouse, from the delivery, we got all the different components to make sure that you guys are fully automated.
Well, thank you, Frank. And guys, if you're interested in learning more about orders in seconds, you can scan that QR code that we have up on the screen. And also, I'm going to be linking it in the chat as well. Just fill out the form and somebody will contact you this week, okay? All right, and now let's get to our live Q&A, guys. Let's see. Guys, if you have questions about these CPG trends, if you guys have anything that pops up, you have a question about with your business, just submit it in the Q&A. Right now, I have one question. If I'm interested as a wholesale distributor, if I'm interested in some of these companies that you mentioned, how do I get them to distribute with me? How do I get
It's really easy, actually. The best way is to reach out directly. And what they're going to be interested in knowing is there are two ways, right? Like either they're selling a couple retailers in a region already and they're looking for a distributor to take that over, or if it's a product that you're really excited about and you have retailers or partners who would be interested in that product, I would lead with that, right? And say, hey, we distribute to these retailers in these regions, would love to carry your product and help you to grow your store account there. We think your product would do really well. Brands love that. So you can reach out directly through their website, their contact us page. And then someone, on one of their founders or on their executive team will reach out. A lot of these teams that are, under 15, 20 people. And so there's not very many kind of layers to go through, and then they'll be interested. I think the main thing that they're looking for, though, is not just to get their product in your warehouse, but if you can say, hey, we'll help kickstart this by pitching to a couple retailers who we know who would really like this, and positioning it as a partnership, then they would be all on board for doing that.
Gotcha. Thank you for that. And then I have another question. Do you have any advertisement plans or sponsorships at Foodbevy?
Yeah, so at Foodbevy, all of our information is free for anyone to look at, and that's because we're supported by sponsors. And so we work with a lot of service providers and manufacturers and distributors to get in front of our community. And so if you are interested in sponsorship opportunities, there's ones we included in our website, our newsletters that go out every week. Some more kind of advanced things to sponsor podcast episodes or webinars. And so lots of opportunities to be involved and to get you and your company in front of our audience of emerging food and beverage brands.
Okay, perfect.
I can tell you the number one thing that they're looking for are ways of increasing their sales or reducing their costs. And so if you have opportunities for them to sell more, then that's something that they'll be really interested in.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you for that. And then just one more question. Out of all the trends that you've seen that you explained in this webinar, if you had to pick one within the next like 3 to 5 years, which one do you think would provide like the biggest growth opportunity? In your opinion,
I have been continuously amazed at
Mhm.
protein growth in launching into new categories, where if you take almost any traditional or slow moving category and you add high protein products there,
Mhm.
it's an easy way to differentiate. The downside is that there's increasing competition in protein. But if you can come with a unique, like lead with flavor first and have high protein, and find products that way, there's the most area of opportunity, I think, for most consumers in that category.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you. All right. And now we have a question from Scott. He says, as a small wholesaler, is there a forum, website, or subreddit to find new products trying to break into the market? I'm specifically looking for the infused alcohol alternatives.
I would actually recommend looking at airgoods.com
Mhm.
if you're familiar with that. So they're kind of like Fair. They're a,
Good. Okay.
an in between and not quite a distributor, but whether they do like drop shipping, essentially marketplace.
Mhm.
But their focus is originally on non-alcoholic beverages. And so they have a list, like hundreds of them. And so by browsing that, you can get a strong lead on the ones that are retail ready.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you. Scott, I hope that answered your question. And then we have another question from Mark. What's the top protein sweet snack? Scott says thank you. Air Goods. Yep, I typed that in there. Airgoods.com. Airgoods.com. And he says thank you. And then what's the top protein sweet snack? What's the top protein sweet snack?
I don't have the data on that,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest. If I was to make an informed guess,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like protein bars that are on that sweet side, like Quest bars, are doing really well, push high protein and see a lot of growth there. Um,
Wow.
Also cookies, right? Like Lenny's cookies, and they have protein cookies. Like those are really popular. It also kind of goes into that permissible indulgence category. So if you can take a dessert item that typically people would feel guilty about eating and add protein to it, then they really want a cookie and they justify it by saying that it has protein.
Absolutely, guys. I'm on this health kick right now, and I'm all about the protein right now. So I completely get that. All
Great
right.
questions.
All right. Well, that was the last question in our Q&A. Anyone? Last takers? Nope. All right. So that was the last question in the Q&A. Thank you guys so much for participating. And now, guys, we have come to what you guys all deserve. We have your attendee gift. For attending, everyone today will be receiving a free advertisement, a free ad in the Foodbevy newsletter, guys. Now, what does this mean? What does this mean for you? You're going to get one advertisement in the newsletter, and this is a value of $400, guys. You guys are getting this for free today. Okay, you're gonna get seen every week. He sends out these newsletters. You're gonna get seen by 4,000 plus CPG brands and insider contacts. Okay, and you get to subscribe to that newsletter for free. So, guys, if you're interested in claiming and you want to claim your ad now, make sure to scan that QR code. I'm also gonna post a link in the chat. All right, to claim your free ad, you guys have to fill out this form. Okay, so go ahead, fill out the form and take advantage of this great freebie. Thank you, Jordan. This was so generous of you. Thank you for all the attendees and thank you guys for attending and showing up, guys. You know, obviously you guys are taking this step for 2025. We want to level up. We want to be better than we were yesterday and this is a great first step, guys. All right. And now, guys, if you had more questions for Frank, you guys have his contact information here, his email, his phone number. If you guys had any more questions about orders in seconds or the presentation today, make sure to connect with these guys on LinkedIn too, guys. And guys, that's all we have for today. Thank you guys, everyone. Thank everyone who attended this webinar. Jordan, especially Frank. Yeah, guys, this is how we clap on Zoom over here. All of the OIS customers that attended, all our new guests, thank you and welcome. And please, join our webinars next time too. Everyone from social media, guys, we continue to have more webinars like this for our customers on trending topics because we believe if you guys win, that we all win, right? That's what we believe here at Orders in Seconds. So we keep having these webinars on topics that provide you value, that make you guys better in this industry, right? And then guys, too, keep your heads up for April. We have something exciting happening April. I'm about to spill
Oh,
the
yes.
beans, y'all. I'm spilling the beans. Orders in Seconds will be partnering and integrating with Fishbowl Inventory, guys, the warehouse management system. So you guys heard it here first. You guys heard it here first. So make sure in April, we're going to be having a lunch and learn so you guys can learn more about that partnership. So you don't want to miss it. So make sure that you check your emails. And then last month, we had a webinar with Settle on the topic of 3 cash flow strategies to grow your wholesale business. If you guys missed that webinar, make sure to check it out on our YouTube channel. And I'm going to post the link to our YouTube channel too. Okay. So you guys can see that. And guys, remember, once this webinar closes out, we have a survey at the end. Please, guys, fill out the survey. We want to hear from you. We want to know the topics that you're interested in learning more about. Okay. So fill out that survey. And guys, again, thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great day, everyone.